Kanye West is facing legal action from his former assistant. Lauren Pisciotta is suing West for a number of complaints, including wrongful termination, quid pro quo and hostile environment, unlawful retaliation, unpaid wages, and gender discrimination, as seen in documents obtained by E!
But then the seemingly weirdest part is this. It looks like this is what he said to her over text message one day, and I can't imagine she doesn't have proof of these things, considering it's a text. I don't know why she would delete them, but I'm not going to read it, but you can read it here. He was just saying how different parts of him were.
Like, for me, Playboy was my gateway into full-on addiction. My dad had a Playboy left out at age 5, and it's affected almost every choice I made for the rest of my life from age 5.
So Kanye West is in hot water again, and this time he's being accused of some seriously messed up stuff by his former assistant, who bizarrely happens to look like a mix between Kim Kardashian and Kanye's current wife, Bianca Censori. So this former assistant, Lauren Pisciotta, happens to be an OnlyFans model who also briefly worked for Kanye back in the summer of 2021. And she's now accusing Kanye of all kinds of inappropriate behavior, ranging from allegedly sending her explicit text messages, obsessively asking about the size of her boyfriend's you-know-what, and even touching himself while talking to her on the phone. Pisciotta even submitted some of the texts she received from Kanye, and she allegedly also has video evidence to back up her claims. But Kanye has now fired back at Pisciotta, denying all allegations and threatening to countersue for blackmail. On the other hand, some sources are saying that Pisciotta's allegations are 100% on brand with Kanye, because he previously admitted that he's addicted to, let's call it adult material, and even claimed that his addiction ruined his marriage to Kim. And then you see how Kanye has his wife Bianca walking around with practically nothing on, looking like a walking blow-up doll. But that's not all. Kanye recently announced that he's planning to launch Yeezy Corn, his very own adult movie studio. So taking all this into account, it's really not that far-fetched to believe that Kanye was pestering his OnlyFans assistant with creepy messages. So does this mean that Kanye is about to go down like Diddy? What exactly did his ex-assistant reveal about Kanye's weirdo behavior? Let's break it down.
Pisciotta claims in her suit that West sent her a multitude of inappropriate and graphically messages and videos throughout her employment, examples of which included in the documents describe his fantasies, encounters with an unnamed model, and other messages which, quote, suggested or insinuated that the plaintiff wanted to have with the defendant and actually had course with the defendant, when in fact she did not want to and never indeed did do.
Kanye West is facing legal issues yet again after his former assistant Lauren Pisciotta filed a lawsuit alleging that Kanye subjected her to all types of messed up stuff during her employment. According to court documents obtained by Rolling Stone, Pisciotta had worked in the music industry for 15 years and even collaborated with Kanye on season 1 of his Yeezy women's fashion line and on 3 tracks on his Donda album. In her lawsuit, Pisciotta alleges that Kanye hired her as his executive assistant / personal assistant in 2021 and offered her an annual salary of $1 million on the condition that she was available to him 24/7, honey. She accepted and reportedly signed a contract as a full-time employee. At the time, Pisciotta claims she was already making $1 million annually from her OnlyFans account and through other social media platforms. And while Kanye initially didn't mind that she was an OnlyFans model, the lawsuit claims that in 2022, he suddenly changed his mind and told Pisciotta she needed to be more godlike. He reportedly asked her to delete her account in exchange for $1 million. Pisciotta agreed, but she claims that after she deleted her account, she started receiving explicit messages from Kanye, and that at one point, he allegedly pleasured himself in front of her. In one text message submitted in the lawsuit, Kanye allegedly wrote, "See, my problem is I be wanting to F, but then after I F, I want a girl to tell me how hard they've been F'd while I'm F'ing them. Then I want her to cheat on me." Pisciotta also claims that Kanye was fixated on the size of her boyfriend's you-know-what and sent videos of himself having relations with another model. In another message, Kanye allegedly asked Pisciotta, "Is my D I'm going to stare at pictures of white women with black A's and beat the ish out of my racist D. Pisciota also claims that Kanye would call her supposedly to discuss work-related matters, but would then proceed to touch himself while on the phone with her. But that's not all. The lawsuit goes on to describe one bizarre incident that allegedly took place during an overnight flight to Paris, where other Yeezy employees were present. Pisciota claims that after Kanye invited her to his room on the plane to talk, he shut the door and trapped her inside. He then allegedly laid down on his bed while she was sitting in a chair across from him, and he began to touch himself under the covers until he fell asleep. According to the lawsuit, around September 2022, Kanye promoted Pisciota to chief of staff for his various companies and told her she would receive an additional $3 million as part of her promotion. But the following month, Pisciota claims Kanye suddenly fired her and offered her a $3 million severance package. She accepted the terms, but she claims she never received the money that she was promised. According to Rolling Stone, in addition to sexual breach of contract, and wrongful termination, Pisciota is also suing Kanye and his Yeezy companies for fraud, unpaid wages, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. By the way, this isn't the first time Kanye has faced allegations of subjecting others to his adult material addiction. Back in November 2022, multiple former Yeezy and Adidas employees claimed that during staff meetings, Kanye showed them explicit private footage of Kim Kardashian and used adult material and mind games to intimidate his employees. In an open letter written by former Yeezy team members, it was alleged that Kanye often lashed out at female employees and made inappropriate comments. The letter described how, over the course of a decade, Mr. West used intimidation tactics with the staff of his fashion empire that were provocative, frequently and often directed toward women. The former staff members also claimed that Kanye played adult movies in meetings and discussed them in detail, showed private photographs of Kim Kardashian in job interviews, and even allegedly played an explicit video of Kim as well as his own private tapes to Yeezy team members. What's also messed up is that, according to these staff members, the upper management at Adidas was aware of Kanye's behavior, but they seemingly turned their moral compass off. There was no accountability. One former employee said, "Difficult moments happened with executives in the room, VP level or higher, and nothing would be done. You'd still show up to work the next day." Now, as you probably know, for the past couple of years, Kanye has been playing a victim and claiming that Adidas tried to trick him out of his money. And it looks like he's now doing the same thing with this new lawsuit filed by his former assistant. A legal representative for Kanye told the LA Times in a statement that Kanye plans to countersue Pisciota over her baseless allegations, and he also accused Pisciota of coercion, blackmail, and extortion. But judging by how Kanye has been moving since his divorce from Kim Kardashian, everything that's alleged in his ex-assistant's lawsuit sounds completely believable. Remember how after Kim dumped him, Kanye started publicly shaming Kim over her private tape with Ray J? Well, apparently, the tape didn't bother him while he was married to Kim, but the moment he lost control over Kim, it suddenly became a problem. But this was just the beginning of Kanye's unhinged behavior. After he spent months begging Kim to take him back, Kanye went into hiding for a few weeks and then resurfaced with his now wife Bianca Censori. And apparently, all that talk about how women should be modest and godlike went straight out of the window when Kanye married Bianca. I mean, he's parading this woman around like a trophy, and we've yet to see her covered up in public. Now, if that wasn't hypocritical enough of Mr. Sunday Service, check this out. Kanye recently announced his plans to start his very own adult movie studio. And this is the man who claimed that his addiction to adult movies ruined his marriage and destroyed his family.
Do you feel like your attitude towards women has changed since having daughters?
Nah, I still look at and
What kind of stuff do you look at? What categories?
black is my favorite category. I got to a point where I was always letting that Playboy magazine that I found when I was 5 years old have an effect on my music. It could never be 100% everything it could be, because I had to add that in, always. And it got to the point where literally I went from Jesus Walks to You're Such a I Love It. This fit right in with everything we got to deal with opioids. This fit right in with everything we got that promotes so that we can have more slaves in the mass incarceration.
Why did you make it?
Because I was asleep. Because I was drowned. Because I was lost.
Well, it looks like Kanye is still as lost as ever, because back in April, his rep confirmed to TMZ that Kanye is thinking about launching his own porn studio and brand, which would be part of a broader adult entertainment division at the parent Yeezy company. Kanye's rep also told TMZ that Kanye has been talking to adult movie star Stormy Daniels' ex-husband Mike Moss, a veteran producer of adult movies, and offered him to be the head of the new Yeezy Corn division.
The outlet claims that Ye is in talks with Mike Moss, who is the ex-husband of Stormy Daniels, who's a veteran in the business himself, to help him get the brand up and running. As for a launch date, Yeezy make its debut as early as this summer.
So yeah, it's pretty clear that Kanye is dealing with some serious issues, and to make matters worse, he is reportedly refusing to seek the help he obviously needs. To be clear, Kanye's adult movie addiction is not proof that he really did those things alleged in his former assistant's lawsuit. But let's just say that not a single soul would be surprised if the allegations ended up being proven true. One fan said, "Knowing what is known about him and his behavior on social media, I'm now wondering why he hasn't been sued sooner. I don't doubt that he's done all these things, but I am shocked that someone finally decided to do something about it." And someone else added, "He's really bent on ruining his legacy and image, it seems. I don't know how much of it is mental illness and how much of it is just stupidity, ego, and insecurity, but let it be a cautionary tale to everyone." Sad. But let me hear your thoughts on this situation. How do you feel about all these allegations made by Kanye's ex-assistant? Drop your comments below and make sure you stick around for this next video.